We're holding Simon Shiur Tes, Sif Tes, this is Shiur 24. Kli Rishon. What's a Kli Rishon? And it says in the parentheses, Pirish HaKli Shemishtamesh Bo Eish. A Kli Rishon is always the Kli that was on the fire. Even after you take it off the fire, it's still called a Kli Rishon. And this, see if we're going to talk about Kli Rishon and Kli Sheni, what's what. So something is a Kli Rishon, it was on the fire, it was heated up on the fire. Even after you take it off the fire, it's still called a Kli Rishon. And the halacha is, mevashel, it cooks kozman shayad toledes boy. As long as it's hot enough that it's a yad toledes boy. So if you look in the Magen Avraham right away, kozman shayad toledes boy, v'neruli dim ein yad toledes boy, shari. It's not yad toledes boy, it's mutter, it's not even a gzeira. Afagam Indian Issa Beheter Yesh Oisrim. Now, for those of the Basel Chav Tarubis, we know that a Kli Rishon, even if it's not yet to let us boy, there are some people that answer it. Says the Magen Avraham, Hainu Mishon de Mavliya or Maflet. Mavliya Maflet means that it absorbs and it gives out the tam. There's two separate things. One thing is Mavliya Maflet, and one thing is Mavashal. It cooks it. So it's possible something could be in a kli, it's hot, and it's a charisha, it's not yet lettuce boy, and it's mavliya and it's maflit, but it's not mavashal. It's hot enough to pull out the blias and to put in blias, but not hot enough to be mavashal. Some people even ask a kli sheni because mavliya or maflit, but bishal not. But everybody agrees that a Kli Sheni is not mavashal, and a Kli Rishon that's not yet to let us boy is also not mavashal. Says the Magen Avraham, "Miyo b'Yushalmi Isa the also achar kol Kli Rishon afilu ein hayat to let us boy kachos b'tashbet spayim b'yedei reishon zadav b'tal b'shem b'mashal." So the Magen Avraham brings down from the Yushalmi. The Yushalmi is machmin even by ein yad to let us by a Kli Rishon. Magen Avraham brings down the master. We don't go with the Yerushalmi, and the Gra argues in the Magen Avraham, and he says the Yerushalmi never meant in the case where it's not a yad to let us by.
What's the status of a Kli Rishon that is cooled down below yad to let us by? Is it nothing?
Pashas is nothing. Yeah, before the Magen Avraham, before the Yerushalmi, it's not yad to let us by. It's nothing.
It's nothing.
Yeah, it's called Tzaynu.
The Mavliya Mafli, could that be?
Right, Mavliya Mafli is possible less than the Yatz boy.
Could be.
Yeah, that's what it says. Mavliya Mafli is possible less than the Yatz boy. But in the Bishul, it's called Sayin.
Even according to Yerushalmi, there must be different levels of Ein Hayat.
Yeah, when
you can't say a cold, it's ice cold.
Right, but cool that all the way. But cool that all the way.
76 degrees.
Yeah, we'll see in Sif Tezvav from Hashem that there's something called that it's a sound of the Gamri. Right, we had read that Bishalach HaBishal, it could be Shaykh Bishalach HaBishal when it's less than the Atlantis boy, but it's sound of the Gamri, it could be it's not Shaykh Bishalach HaBishal. The Ramah holds that if it's less than the Atlantis boy, there's no Bishalach HaBishal. Then sound of the Gamri, then where is Bishalach HaBishal. So you see there is a level of the sound of the Gamri. I think they call it room temperature.
How they can do practically? For you it's lenient, you say 40 degree, it's already like, stringent, it's already like Yad Lettuce Bo. For me, I am too lenient. I say 75, it's not Yad Lettuce Bo.
Yeah,
so how can you play a game like that?
No, so we're machmer, Yad Lettuce. So what's the level of Yad Lettuce Bo?
But B'diavad you can be Mekel?
Yad Lettuce Bo?
Yeah, B'diavad.
I don't think you'll be Mekel.
I come to your home and you say...
It's Yad Lettuce Bo. If it's hard enough that's Yad Lettuce Bo, you can't be Mekel. Someone cooks and put something in a pot that's a Kli Rishon. That's the Yatz Lettuce boy.
No, Sheni. Kli Sheni.
No, Kli Sheni, yeah. Kli Sheni, we'll see about Kli Sheni soon.
Kind of.
We'll get to Kli Sheni soon.
For you is different.
In the meantime, the Mechaber only speaks about a Kli Rishon, and a Kli Rishon only if it's Yad Tzeledus boy, and Yad Tzeledus boy, even though the Magen Avraham brings down the Yerushalmi, that's Machmir, and it's not because it's Mavashal. The Yerushalmi is not going to say, even according to the Magen Avraham, that less than the Yad Tzeledus boy is Mavashal. He's saying it's Archaka. It means don't put it there because you may end up putting it there even when it's a Yad Tzeledus boy. So it's just a chaka ba'alma. We're just keeping you away from putting something into a Kli Rishon. But even the Magen Avraham is not going to say that it's mavashal.
So one more time, the Mavliya Maflit, when is that an issue?
Even less than the Aslan Spy, it could be it's Mavliya Maflit. In a Kli Rishon. No, it's only issue with the Issa V'heter. It's only the if you have a Davar Offer, then it's a problem. Right. But if it's a Bishul, if you need Bishul on Shabbos, it's not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, but if it's under Yad Tzeledus, but this would be the gay for us, because even the Klisheni, we are going to ask, we'll see soon, we're going to ask a Klisheni, even the Klisheni, because the Chalei Bishul, once it's under Yad Tzeledus boy, there's no problem. Once it goes under Yad Tzeledus boy, everything is fine.
No, but you still have the problem of Mexican Mavashal, don't you?
We'll get to Mexican Mavashal. Yeah, we'll get to Mexican Mavashal. Fine, so that's the Mechaber. So Chod Mashiach it's called a Kli Rishon. The Fikach, says the Mechaber, also Litain the Toichai Tavlin. You're now going to put Tavlin spices into a Kli Rishon. Aval but Melech Mutter Litun Toichai, salt allowed to put inside. Kimche Vidum Shitza took it off the fire. Why? The Tzricha Milcha Bishula Kibisa the Torah. Because Melech salt needs cooking like meat of a cow.
What's the status of the salt today? We should buy in the store. Is it cooked salt?
Today's salt, most salts today are already cooked. So ain't bishul acha bishul.
How do they cook the salt?
That's when they process it. They usually cook it first.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Most salt today is processed and it's cooked.
Okay.
So ain't bishul acha bishul. So, but if it's raw salt and you put it into a pot, so the first sheet in the Mechaber says that salt that you put into a pot, after Kli Rishon, is not a problem because it can't be mavashal, only when it's not on the fire. Of course, if it's on the fire, it's awesome. And we'll see the Spiro speaks out of things, even if you have a mind to take it off the fire, you're salting it and taking it off the fire before it gets a chance to cook, also it's awesome. Something that's on the fire, even though you're going to take it off, you can't put anything into that pot.
So it's nemuach, no?
Salt and water that could be cooked quicker, yeah. So that's the first shita. Some people say it's also to put meat in a Kli Rishon even after it comes off the fire that was salted, even if it's meat shalshar, which is meat that can't get cooked in Kli Rishon, still it's also to put it into Kli Rishon or even off the fire.
So they would certainly hold that.
This is obviously raw meat you're talking about.
Raw meat, yeah.
So they would obviously hold that even salt would also be awesome to do.
No.
Well, if they said the reason why.
So what's the reason why I kept a meat? Says the Magen Avraham. Shashar nihida basar ein mispashal halachlucha shabai mispashal. Even though the meat doesn't get cooked, but the liquid that's in the meat gets cooked. So here you have a different issue. Salt won't have that issue. There's no lachlucha, there's no wetness in salt. So if you hold like the first shita, that salt needs cooking like kibisa de Torah, so you're allowed to put salt in the Kli Rishon, not on the fire. Meat you can't, even though we're saying you're right, salt is like meat, but meat may be more chomerdik because not because of the meat itself, but because of lachluchit which is in the meat.
But until now we haven't been, like we've talked about, taking chicken out of the fridge and we haven't been worried about the liquid inside of the chicken. Is there something unique about shore meat that we worry about the liquids inside?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think you mean to ask is when you take chicken, right? Bishul acha bishul, you're asking, right? There's bishul acha bishul, and take out chicken from the refrigerator. So a bishul acha bishul on a double yavish. So you put it on top of the challah pot, and it gets hot. It gets very hot. But what happened to the lachluchas, which is little, even the not in the chicken, around the chicken, there's a little wetness, and they were not worried about it. Why aren't you worried about that little lachluchas which is about bishul lacha bishul.
Because it's kli rishon, that's why. Because when you put it on top of the kli rishon as opposed to putting it inside.
Yeah, but he know for sure it's going to get cooked.
Sorry?
He putting it on top of aish.
And
Kli rishon is only when you take it off the fire. You can't say when you put something on top of a cholent pot that it's better than al aish. Put something on top of a cholent pot that could get really hot. I'm talking about a place where it could get really hot. If it can't get really hot, there's no problem. I'm talking about a place where it could bubble even.
right,
You leave it there, become very, very hot. So what happened to bishul lacha bishul on the lachluchas that we said, you don't have to worry about it by chicken.
Right.
Why not? Why is it different than this lachluchas of the basar they're putting into the pot?
And also by cooked meat, we say you don't have to worry about it. And cooked meat too.
I'm talking cooked meat. It's in lachluchas in the cooked meat.
Right.
Yeah. Why do you have to worry about it? It's a good question.
Yeah, we've learned already that there are many shittas that hold that there is no official by lach.
Correct.
Here it's never been cooked ever. That's why you worry about it.
But here, actually, exactly, you're actually talking about raw meat. So if it's raw meat, you're
never
actually
been
doing
cooked
that's
ever.
like commercial.
Yeah.
Isn't that different?
Right. That's what we're going to get to now.
Yeah, okay.
So the question is, if it's yesh bishul lacha bishul, so the water looks like it was never cooked before. The liquid,
Because of the
yesh bishul lacha bishul. So what happened to that? So if I'm not mistaken, I have to check it up again. But the reason why we're not makbid on that is because there is a shita that holds, a lot of shita that holds that ain't bishul lacha bishul, even by davalach. So inside of that, when you take a piece of chicken and you put it on top, and you worry about bishul lacha bishul on the lachluchet shaboy, I think we're mitzad of the shitas that hold that ain't bishul lacha bishul b'davalach, and therefore we don't worry about the little lachluchas. If you want to take something and warm it up, and you want the water to become cooked again and hot, then about that we're not going to be makel. But here, we don't care about the water which is on the inside of the chicken. We don't care about that. It's getting cooked by itself, and you don't need it. We'll be mitzad the shitas that hold ain't bishul lacha bishul b'davalach.
But the other thing is that the chicken that we are talking about came out of the fridge, it's already cooked, and here it is raw meat. Raw meat, the water over it is not cooked anyway.
Yeah,
so now it's the first cooking.
but we hold yesh bishul lacha bishul.
Yeah, but this is he's talking about raw meat. That means he's talking about first cooking, not even
but I'm
cooked.
saying, but if you hold yesh bishul lacha bishul, doesn't make a difference. It's cooking again.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the reason why we're making over there. I'll have to check that out.
It seems like a very strange case that the Mechaber is bringing over here. Why would you put in raw meat into a kli rishon that's off the fire in the first place on Shabbos?
Unless you wanted to cook.
Yes.
People don't, maybe. In his time.
It seems like a very strange case.
Who's putting raw meat into a pan of Shabbos?
Right.
You're not going to eat the meat raw, unless you eat the meat raw.
I mean, it seems like that would be so...
But why should we do that?
It's like a Gemara, it's straight out.
What else would you want him to do with it?
It's like a
Why you putting raw meat into a pot? I don't know, it's a good question.
No, maybe a very thin piece of meat, and he hoped he could put it.
So if you want to cook it, if you cook it,
that's cooking. But guy,
You don't want to
crazy.
cook
But guy crazy, you know. Forget.
There's no crazy.
why is so putting raw meat into his pot? Okay, interesting question. I don't know. What's the mitzvah here? So putting raw meat.
Very, 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 very rare.
Very rare meat. But even if it's cooked, even if he's doing it to cook it a little bit, it's a problem.
I know, it's right, exactly.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
maybe he blew it off the fire.
Unless he's just washing off the blood, I don't know.
So fire.
Salt, he's just washing it off in hot water, I don't know.
It's
But
even
it's
worse.
already kosher, so it
That's
means
even worse.
blood is
The
there.
blood, it's even worse. You see now,
Blood is
absolutely.
there.
I know it could be maybe basal maruach means it's already like it's like dried meat which is already dried up, like it's
Which is edible.
It's already edible.
Which is edible already.
Yeah.
Saying it's edible, you just,
Yeah.
He's
Like
taking
the
his full something, he's dipping it in hot water.
Okay.
Problem.
So the says the more over here. So the Mechaber says you're not allowed to put into this clean bosa meliach afilu shalshar. Says the more but nearly the below meliach nami aser. Even if the meat wasn't salted, it's also aser. Al the noket meliach the belav hochi aser mishum dam shaboy. We said meliach for a different reason, because if not for the fact that it's meliach, it'll be also because of the dam shaboy. So if you don't salt the meat, and you want to put the meat into a pot, On Shabbos, the dam is going to come out and be also because of the blood which is in the piece of meat.
Because then you'd be eating the blood.
Right, they'd be eating the blood. So the reason why we said maliach is because of the blood. It means where the Magen Avraham is coming from here is, we'll see soon in the where the Ramah is coming from here is, we'll see in a second the Magen Avraham. There was some achronim that learned that the only reason why it's also to put a salted piece of meat into a pot is because with the salt it makes it cook much quicker. But if there wouldn't be salt there, then it wouldn't cook quick at all, and there wouldn't be a problem. You're allowed to put the meat into a klirishin, even though it's Yatzaladis boy. That's what some achronim want to learn, and they're more saying that way. The reason why we said salted is only because if it's not salted, you have a problem with the damsha boy. But not pshat that you need it to be salted. That means, according to the Ramah, if you salted the piece of meat and you cleaned off all the salt from the piece of meat, and now you want to put it into a kli rishon, it's still awesome, according to the according to the Ramah. According to some achronim, no. It'll only be awesome if you cleaned off the salt and you resalted it, and then you're putting it into a pot, because the salt helps it cook quickly. Let's see the Magen Avraham Sifchat Lamed. Dam Shaboy. Umayri, we're talking about if you're going to Hudach, Achra Malicha. You cleaned it off.
Sorry, when we say Maliach Roteach, that's only with respect to Yisr Beheter. It has
right, it's not called Bishul. Right, correct. Right, it's not called Bishul. Dam Shaboy, says the Magen Avraham, Umayri, you're going to Hudach, Achra Malicha. You rinsed it off after the malicha. It's also anyway because of the blood that's in the salt itself. So it has to be that you cleaned it off. But like much it comes to the bach. The Beis Yosef is mashma that the only reason why it's also to put this meat into the pot is because when it's salted, the salt helps it cook quickly. The Bach is machriya like the Ramah, that even if there's no salt, it's still aser. Well, the maskara, because of Rosh Hafol Nimlach Mechadash, Chazim and Dvar Varishonim, Chamash B'Ramadzim, B'Batur. The Magen Avraham comes out and he says that you don't have to resalt a piece of meat. A piece of meat that was once salted, you clean off the salt from it, and you want to put it into Kli Rishon. It's aser, even though it needs cooking, a lot of cooking, still you're not allowed to put it into Kli Rishon because of the Chalucha Shabbat. That's what the Magen Avraham says.
But you could put it in the Kli Sheni.
Yeah, you can put it into Kli Sheni, as of now.
Right.
We'll see in a second about Kli Sheni.
So this Dam Shavu, what's the Havamina of Dam Shavu? Why would you even think that it wasn't salted?
Yeah.
Before the cooking, it wasn't salted.
It has to be salted before the cooking.
It was not enough. Enough salt maybe, but not enough to remove the...
to remove the dam. That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome, yeah. If there's not enough salt to take out the dam, it'll be awesome. What's the Havamina they were talking about that it wasn't... So the Magen Avraham, the Ramah is saying that the reason why we say Meliach is only to take out the dam. The Beis Yosef says, Leon asked a good question. What's the Havamina that there's dam here? Of course it has to be salted beforehand. The truth is, the Beis Yosef learned that it has to still be salted. It's coming because it is dig. The Beis Yosef says it has to still be salted. And the Magen Avraham says there must be a case where you rinsed off the salt and you resalted it, and therefore now the salting is going to help cook it in the Kli Rishon Shalei Ala Ish. The Beis Yosef is coming from the fact that it says Basar Maliach, what's the Chiddush? Of course it has to be salted meat. Who eats unsalted meat? That's where Beis Yosef is coming from. The Magen Avraham doesn't like that. The Ramah doesn't like that. The Ramah says that you don't need the salting to help. Why did it say salted? Then Achrami. Just to tell us that there's no dam inside. Right, your deep is where the Beis Yosef is coming from.
But are you allowed to remove salt on Shabbos? Like by washing it off?
You're asking a good question. If someone has salted meat with dam on it, you see that remove the salt on Shabbos.
We learned no.
We don't know.
Is it not
Misakin?
But the meat is not muktzah really?
No, so we learned it was. No.
Meat?
No, what we learned was, we learned something else. We learned, Chaf Aleph. Yeah, Chaf Aleph is in the Morgan of Rama, Chaf Aleph speaks about it. We'll get to it. What we learned was that if you have meat that's not salted, if you leave meat unsalted for 3 days, then you can't salt it anymore. What do? So you madiach it, you rinse it off within the 3 days, then you have more time to resalt it, to salt it. So the question we had was, are you allowed to rinse off a piece of meat that wasn't salted on Shabbos? Because that's called being misakin. Because that's what we had. But a piece of meat that is already salted, you just want to rinse off the salt, that you're allowed to do on Shabbos. That's okay.
Why?
Even though you can't do bishul.
Before rinsing it off, you can't eat it.
So
the process of rinsing it off is not misakin it to make it edible.
So you're not make food edible on Shabbos?
No, sure. Misakin.
Why can't you make food edible on Shabbos?
So you're going to eat it.
So that we had before.
With the fish.
With the fish, is there an issue of makro patish for oichlin? Right. So we came out that there is no makro patish for oichlin. Even if you hold there is makro patish for oichlin, I don't know if you can call this makro patish. Rinsing off the salt.
It still needs to be cooked, the meat.
You have a I don't know, potato. If something falls on the floor, it's unedible now. Yeah, rinse it off.
But if it's not eatable, why would you do this one?
You want to eat raw.
Today raw meat.
If you eat raw meat.
Today, nobody
Let's say eat raw meat.
Maybe not.
Maybe apple, maybe.
Yeah, it's edible, it's muktzah.
It's a muktzah.
Something you're not going to eat that it could be muktzah, but what if you can eat a piece of meat? You worry about chicken one day, you take off the salt. So that's what we had before. We had before that the Bialacha comes out, there's no makro patish ba'ichlin. So you make food edible, there's nothing wrong with it. According to the Prima Garden that brings down, I'm not sure this is called makro patish ba'ichlin either. Because the food is ready, it's just covered with something. You're taking off that cover. Peeling an orange, it's called makro patish ba'ichlin. It's not makro patish.
Unless it's a very ill person and they want to cook a piece of meat, so you want to wash the meat.
It says the Rabbi, so now we just had that salt is mutter to put into a kli rishon.
Nicely said.
But the Rabbi says, v'yesh oisrim, lo seis melech, afilu b'kli sheni, kol zman shayat haledes boy, v'amachmir tova olav bracha. So here we have a new halacha. This is the famous halacha of Kalei Bishul. Some people say that it's also to put melech even into a kli sheni. Why? The Rabbi doesn't say anything over why. So we have to stop here for a second, go into a little bit of the Kalei Bishul. So we find twice in Shulchan Aruch this musig of Kalei Bishul, something that's cooked easily. One is right here. Why? Why can't you put salt in a kli sheni? What's wrong? A kli sheni is not mavashal. We just said before, a kli rishon is mavashal. A kli sheni is not mavashal. Why can't you put it in a kli sheni?
Salt is like cooking beef.
Well, first of all,
so we went from one end to the other end. We went from one end that melech is so hard to cook because it's like basar, and now we went to the other end that melech, even a kli sheni is mavashal. A full of a kli sheni.
Because of the machlokes in the Gemara and then days.
Yeah, because the machlokes. Yeah, it's two lashonos in the Gemara. Two lashonos in the Gemara. So here we're going to the other end. That melech, even a kli sheni, is a problem. So we find something here that's salt in a kli sheni. It could be it gets cooked. It's because of Kalei Bishul.
Is it actually because that it itself gets cooked, or it helps the other?
No, it itself gets cooked. It itself gets cooked. It itself gets cooked.
Okay.
And then we had before with the pas, with the bread, where we had in Sif Hay, also the Ramah, that Davar Shenefer and Nitzla, the Mechaber said, is Yesh Bishul Achar Afiyah. For us, a litin pas afilu b'kli sheni sheyatz ledes boy. Why? Also because pas may have been from the Kalei Bishul, and therefore you can't put it even into a kli sheni.
Why we call salt is hard to cook? Why have this the halacha?
What?
Why salt is hard to cook?
It's machlokes in the Gemara. If you look in the Taz.
No, but salt you put in the cold water, it's dissolved.
Dissolved doesn't mean it's cooked.
But what do you mean cooking salt?
You cook it.
How can you cook?
You cook it. Maybe
Was it change the status?
Maybe. Yeah.
From the raw salt to the.
Hey, look at the Taz you've got in your dalit.
Salt. I don't know how
the Taz you've got in your dalit says Yesh Oisha Lita Melech. The Gemara Ikka Beis L'Shainis. In the Gemara there's two L'Shainis about salt. The Lishna Basra have a Melech L'Kula.
Where are you?
In the Taz you've got in your dalit. Taz you've got in your dalit. The Lishna Basra have a Melech L'Kula. The Kosher is Bashal Kebisu the Tura. Mishmachi Mutter Afilu B'Kli Rishon. Kishaviru May Eish after took it off the fire. The Lishna Kama, the first lashon in the Gemara, have a Melech L'Chumra. Melech is L'Chumra Dafilu B'Kli Sheni Mishbashal. Even in the Kli Sheni is Mavashal. Upasku Kalishna Basra. You pass like the Lishna Basra. The Mechaber Paskins. Like the Lishna Basra, that Klisheni, that Melech, even in Klivisha is not Mavashal. Ella, the Ramah Kosev Api HaTaisvis, the Amachmer Klishna Basra, Klishna Kama, sorry, Tove ala Bracha. Ukvar Zochanu, B'Siv Dalet, B'Siv Hey probably, B'Bitzolim, Din Lahachi, Kivit Shem Charifim, and Mam L'Spashal. V'Neinu Royos, K'Shenoistim Oisam Klisheni V'Seach, we find that onions also get cooked in the klisheni. So the Taz brings down onions also that are cooked in the klisheni. So all we find over here is, if you look in the Mechaber and the Ramah, is pas, that bread is kalei bishul, it gets cooked in the klisheni. We find that salt, according to one lashon in the Gemara, gets cooked. The Taz brings down that onions also are from the kalei bishul. How about everything else? What else is What else is included in the kalei? Yeah, we'll get to the Spiro in a second. But what do you see in the Mechaber?
Tavlin.
Tavlin's a klirishin. We see Tavlin and klisheni.
Okay, sure.
So Mechaber spoke about Tavlin and klirishin. What do we see in a klisheni that gets cooked in a klisheni? All we find is melech.
The leaves of the
tea leaves. The tea leaves. The Mr. Brewer is machmir. But what do we see in the Mechaber and the Ramah? We saw pas. We saw melech. We saw the Taz says betzolim. What else? So if you remember, we had before in the Mr. Brewer brings down. Mr. Sifkot Mem Beis. In the Sif Mem Beis, it's before in Sif Hay. But also linked in Pas. On the case of Pas, says the Mishbur over there, Hoysib is a din acher v'atam Spiro le'edezu yesh levoim shem is bashlin afilu b'klisheni v'nei shem rachim, but they're soft. Ve'ein anu b'kiyim.
This is the point.
We're not bucky. We don't know what's what. V'adkein Hoysib lesa lidin Pas ofui to rochech afilu b'klisheni. For who adin says the Mishbur le'edezu Yesh lahachmer nami b'shar dvorim shlalidna b'klisheni. Therefore, you should machmer even in other things, not to put them in a klisheni. Everything we don't know what cooks in a klisheni. So if you look in the Sharatzian, Sivkot Samaches, chutz b'mayim b'shemen u'chidulkamah b'simen zeh. Water and oil, you don't have to be machmer. They don't cook in a kli sheni. Now we'll get to water Mitzvah next week. That's Sifid Aleph and Sifid Beis. That water in a klisheni could be is more kal. There's no din of kalei bishul by water. And we'll see this whole sugi of Abati. Abati, yeah, we'll get to sugi of Abati. That's Sifid Aleph and Yud Beis. We'll get to it next week. So we'll see why water and shemen is different. But besides the water and shemen, everything else, the chayra, is included in kalei bishul.
Everything else is?
Everything else.
So the sort of the thought process is we normally say Ein Bishul B'Kli Sheni, but because we have to worry about Kali Bishul, and because we assume everything is Kali Bishul.
Right, therefore machmer everything.
We're machmer everything.
It's important to know this because with the Evet we're not going to be machmer. If let's say someone by mistake put something into Kli Sheni, see let this boy, maybe it's Kali Bishul, maybe not, we don't know. So someone by mistake added something to the soup. And it wasn't Bishul. You have to always remember today's things, a lot of things that we put into our soup today already is bashul. But let's say someone put down the croutons today, not the yellow ones, the ones that look like bread, and you add it to your soup, and the soup is yatzalat this boy is a klisheni. So we hold it's kaveh bishul.
Could even be a klishishi.
Yeah, but it's klishishi. We saw klishishi kemekel. So we have to know that everything was choishes for kaveh bishul, but if someone did it already with the eved, it could be mekel. It could be mekel. Now that's over there. Now I've come to our sif tes. The Mishnah Berurah Sif Katan Samach Hey says you're not allowed to put tavlin into a kli rishon. Says the Mishnah Berurah Sif Katan Samach Hey Ava b'kli sheni mutir loseis tavlin afilu yatsa levis boy the ein mispashal sham. It doesn't get cooked there.
Spiro.
What happened?
No, it's not a stira. It's not a stira. Mishnah Berurah said before. I didn't finish the Mishnah Berurah before. Sorry, I left out a few words. The last Mishnah Berurah says v'ayin kamon b'sif tes oidos tavlin. Go look later on sif tes what I say about tavlin. And here it says on tavlin everything is rechoshes for klisheni kali bishul. Says the Mishnah Berurah, but ava b'klisheni mutar l'seis tavlin filas levis boy the ein mispashal sham. So we have an exception. Tavlin, says the Mishnah Berurah, you don't have to worry about Kali Bishul. You have an exception.
But they introduces a new concept now, Gush Dov or not?
Oh, Dov Gush, yeah. We'll get to the Gush in a second.
Well, a quick question. Aren't we worried, is there no worry about the fact that when we add something into a kli which has stuff in it, even though it's kli sheni or kli rishon, that's taken off the esh, that by adding, let's say, salt and stuff, that we're helping the other food inside.
No, that was the basis by meat, and we don't find that anyplace else.
We don't find it anywhere.
No.
The Chayr about the Mishnah Berurah, he also had spices that were ground up like we have today.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah. So it doesn't make a chiluk. It says tavlin. Mishnah Berurah says tavlin you don't have to worry about. So you have a cooler.
It makes no difference if they're cooked or not cooked.
If it's cooked, you can put it to klavishin if you want. If it's cooked to tavlin, then ein bishul bishul.
Yeah,
so even a klavishin you can put it into. We're talking about where it's not cooked. I think most of the tavlinim today are processed.
You could put something cooked into a kli rishon?
Yeah.
Not
ala eish, pound Mexican mavashal maybe. But without the Mexican mavashal, you can add to a klavishin ala eish if you want.
But today most spices are dried, which is a fear, and ground. So now you've got a problem. You put it in the tub. You got a fear.
Yeah, but there's no bishul on tavlin in a klisheni.
And a klisheni.
In a klisheni. But actually, let's say today's spices are dried.
Yeah.
Right, the heat. And then you want to add it to a klisheni. Say bishul achafiyah. There's no bishul achafiyah because tavlin doesn't get cooked in a klisheni.
Today's spices all cooked.
Let's see, biur.
No, I know. Some
dried is called raw.
If you have a pot of soup of gabe ho'esh, and you want to add spices.
Al gabi ha'esh?
Yeah.
No, klivishon. A klivishon is something else. If it's not cooked the spices, you add the raw spices.
Spices you take out of your cupboard like pepper. You want to add pepper.
So it depends how pepper is processed.
It's just ground.
If it's just ground pepper, plain ground pepper, so then it's bishul. You put spices into your soup, ala age, it's bishul. All we're saying here is that in the klisheni, you don't have to worry about kalei bishul by tavlin. You want to put your spices. You take the pot of soup off the fire, and you want to add spices to it. If the spices weren't cooked at all, it's awesome. Or klirisha is mavashal. All the Mishnah Berurah here is saying is that we said before that even in the klisheni you can't put anything into it that's raw because of kali bishul. Tavlin you don't have to worry about. Tavlin doesn't have the chumrah of kali bishul. So you have a heter for spices.
In a kli sheni.
Only in a kli sheni. Kli rishoni you don't have a heter.
So even if you hold that the ladle isn't a kli sheni, you can still do it in your bowl of soup.
Right. If you hold the ladle still a kli rishoni and you put it into your bowl of soup, you can add spices. You can add spices.
If you take a kli off the eish, now it's a kli rishon.
Right.
A gaber eish. What does it become when that kli? You haven't put it in a kli sheni. What does that kli become when it cools down?
On the Yatzel boy?
Yeah.
It's mutter. We pass it, it's mutter. It's nothing.
So
the cloud is that I said a few times. I want to say it over again. Anything that's not yet Yatzel boy is cold. It's one cloud you have to remember. All the kalei bishul, everything, even kalei bishul is kli sheni, right? Yeah. We say kli sheni. There's something called kalei bishul. You can't put anything into kli sheni. If it's not yet to let this boy, you have nothing to worry about.
So I have an issue with that, because didn't we say that the Ramah holds that even if the kli rishon goes below yad soledet bo, you could basically reheat it?
Ein bishul acha bishul. That's something else.
Even davar lach?
Even davar lach. That's something else, because it never lost its bishul status till it gets cold.
Until it gets actually cold.
Yeah, that's something else. Not because it's being cooked now. It never loses its bishul status till it gets cold.
Do I actually understand that kalei bishul only refers to kli sheni? It doesn't refer to kli rishon?
Correct. Kalei bishul only is kli sheni. But kli rishon, everything becomes bishul, besides melech maybe, according to one shita. So kli sheni, everything is kli rishon, everything is mavushal, because it could get cooked. Or kli sheni, b'machmer for kalei bishul. Tavlin, we have a kula. That's the Mishnah Berurah over here. Tavlin is mekel.
We're talking about the sheni shayad.
No, so yas ledes boy. Also, always yas ledes boy. Kli sheni, it always has to be yad ledes boy. If it's not yad ledes boy, if someone serves you soup, and it's not yad ledes boy, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You can put in there whatever you want.
You can't put bread.
No, bread also. If it's not yad ledes boy.
If it's not, I'm saying.
If it's yad ledes boy, only spices. If it's not yad ledes boy, you can put whatever you want in there. Because what is not yet ledes boy, it's not mavash. Says now comes the big chumrah of the Mishnah Berurah over here, where we just left off. Emunach b'kli sheni davar gush shayat ledes boy yesh nizar bo. If you have a davar gush in the kli sheni, so a davar gush is the whole chumrah. We saw in Issa Beheter that you take, let's say, a hot piece of meat out of the oven from a kli, you put it onto a plate. So the plate, the chayr, is a kli sheni. So that thing called einem avashal. So by davar gush, the mashal chumrah is that davar gush stays hot forever. Cooks forever, even though it's in a kli sheni, kli shlishi, doesn't make a difference. The only reason why a davar lach in a kli sheni we say is not mavashal, even though it's yatzel ledes boy, it's because the walls cool it down. But when you don't have walls, it's davar gush. The halacha is it's called hot, and it's mavashal even in a kli sheni. I see the sheets that go through there. We're putting the pickle next to the Yerushalmi pickle, at least in the Hebrew sheets. English sheets also went through it. Oh, in Hebrew sheets they have a whole long thing. And it's a straw, it's a big delicacy by the Kadeshim. So a piece of Yerushalmi pickle. And next to the Yerushalmi pickle, they put out a pickle. They put a pickle. I don't know what pickles have to do with the Yerushalmi pickle, but that's the way they're served by Kadeshim.
Spicy.
No?
No. Yeah.
That's what they do?
Yeah, because of the spice, because of the kind of the tempers and spices.
Oh yeah. Okay, so they put a pickle. Pickles are not cooked. So it's a davar gush. The Yerushalmi pickle is a davar gush. Even if it's a kli sheni, if it's yatzel ledes boy, you put the pickle next to it. So now you're cooking the pickle. It's touching it, then it's a problem. That comes from this chumrah. V'munach b'kli sheni davar gush yatzel ledes boy yesh l'zohar b'zeh. The yesh poskim shesevim a davar gush kol zman sheyatzel ledes boy dino kekli rishoyim. It has a din like a kli rishoyim.
With after shayach, like on Shabbos, when if you take cholent,
right,
put it on the plate when you have salad.
Correct.
If you don't put cholent on
correct.
Salad,
this would be very negative. A davar gush you take it out of a kli rishon, you put it onto a kli sheni, a hot potato from your cholent. If it's yatsa leather's boy, even though it's a kli sheni, there's no cool of a kli sheni. So now it's nothing to do with kalei bishul anymore. This is considered like a kli rishon. So you take the cholent out of the oven and you put it onto a plate, and there's potatoes there that are very hot. Yatsa leather's boy, it's mevashel.
You can't add salt to your cholent.
Then you can't add salt to your cholent, correct? You can't add salt. You can't add tavlin either.
But it's on your plate.
Even when it's on your plate. Even tavlin you can't add. Because now it's a kli rishon. Tavlin, the only kula of a tavlin is b'kli sheni. But in a kli rishon, there's no kula. So if you're machmir that a dover gush doesn't get a kli sheni status, so then you can't even add spices to your cholent. Because you have to wait till it comes on the Yatzladas boy.
Davar gush, can I just as a quick question? Davar gush, doesn't it mean that the whole thing has to be a gush as opposed to a cholent which has water and potatoes?
So that's a good question. Let's say you have a soup. Let's say you have a soup, right? And you have a knedel in your soup. Knedel davar gush. So I can't add salt to my soup now? So here you don't see that. Here you don't see anything about it. Here Pasha is talking about is, you take the davar gush, and you put it onto a plate, and davar gush is by itself. Right. Davar gush is surrounded by water, by liquid.
Cool down.
So the liquid is a kli sheni, has a status of a kli sheni. So what do you say? Davar gush in the liquid doesn't get a status of a kli sheni. It does. Why not? Now you have the tfanet mechamamois. Why should it be different than if the liquid, which is surrounded by the walls? So there, I know there are some people that are machmir that if you have a davar gush in a soup, then the whole soup has a din of a kli rishon. I'm not sure that's correct.
No, but this is like a cholent.
So the cholent is different. The cholent is different. It depends how liquid the cholent is. If it's very liquidy cholent, maybe the harami.
Right.
But if it's more of a pasty cholent, then you don't have to have to.
So you certainly couldn't.
The whole thing may be a davar gush.
You certainly couldn't take the cholent, have a piece of dry schnitzel that's room temperature.
But schnitzel, the ma'af schnitzel, if it's bishul already, if it's cooked already beforehand, and bishul bishul. That's why when it comes time to cold cuts, right? People eat their cold cuts with the cholent.
Yeah.
It's not a problem, even though it touches the hot potato because it's already cooked.
So the pickle is kavush already.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but kavush k'mavushal is not bishul. Yes, bishul achar kavush. Yeah.
Schnitzel is baked or fried, so wouldn't it?
Yeah, so schnitzel is baked or fried.
Yeah.
It's not cooked. No, even though it's baked or fried, right? So what are you doing here? You're not cooking it. You're not cooking it.
You take the cholent and put it on top of the.
But you're not being mashal. It's called tzli now.
Right.
It's tzli. A davar gush can't be bishul. If anything, your cold cuts will be a bigger issue because the cold cuts were only cooked, and now when it's touching hot potatoes, it's tzli.
Cold cuts are not cooked; they're just smoked. They're not cooked.
So if they're smoked, it could be it's called tzli.
Ah.
And it'll be easier because ain't tzli achat tzli.
Right.
So it could be
smoke. It's not tzli.
Smoked is tzli.
It's called tzli.
Yeah, that's
hooked on the top and it's
smoked is called tzli. Yeah.
So what's the tikkun of salting your cholent?
Yeah, so
cholent needs to be salted.
Yeah, if cholent needs to be salted, and if it's yatsa leather's boy, and it's a davar gush. So the truth is, most of our salt is already cooked anyway.
Does the ladle have a different?
The ladle for the cholent, not by davar gush. Davar gush won't make a difference. Doesn't make a difference. Davar gush stays hot no matter what.
But if salting your cholent, we still have a problem of tzli and bishul.
Yeah, so what's the mice? You want to know if you salted cholent? The cholent is a very serious shiloh.
Salt it in your mouth first, and then...
Yeah,
that's to make l'chaim. You don't see the difference.
So if the cholent is very hot, and it's really yatsa leather's boy, that means the potatoes there, yatsa leather's boy, and you want to salt your cholent. So if the salt is already cooked beforehand, so you come into the shiloh of afia, achar, bishul, it could be you could be makel. Because you have the marshal, it's only chumra of the marshal and the klisheni. You have the prima godin that says the ein afi acher bishul. It's not a problem. It's cooked. It could be you could be mekel.
But the Evid.
No, but the Evid for sure you could be mekel. The Evid for sure you could be mekel. You wonder if you could salt the cholent at chila on Shabbos, We'll have to find a heter.
Make the time for
we have to find a heter.
So tell me, what's the Yassal's ball? Some people eat soup, says it's so hot I can't even touch it. Another one eats it easily, says no.
Yassal means you burn your hand in it. That's what means you burn your hand.
Somebody is like, okay, I see practice.
Yes, I think the degrees. I forgot the
baby's tummy. Say between 40 and 76. So how can you?
No, Fraser is that's
burn a baby's
tummy. Yeah.
Burns the stomach of the child.
Burn the stomach of a child.
Yeah.
Oh, so you measure a child.
Yeah.
You know, so don't keep it.
Yeah. So I have to find. I'm going to work on finding a heter.
Salting your child.
To salt the child.
So you don't salt your children? Is there anything?
Well, if the premise is
I never. Yeah, you can't. According to this, you can't salt your child. We'll have to find a heter. Even though it's Yasletis boy, you can't say wait till not Yasletis boy. Because child usually is Yasletis boy. It's very happy with it. But it's bishul now. It's a fiach a bishul. Is that bishul?
What if you just heated up your salt before Shabbos in the oven?
Yeah, it's not wrong.
Put your salt in the oven on a tray.
Yeah.
Heat it up.
Yeah. You vashel it.
Take it out and then put it in the thing.
So it's interesting, there are two ways of making salt. And one is to dry them out in an oven, and the other one is to actually cook it.
Cook it, if it's dried out in the oven, it's more kal.
Correct. So you actually know that the salt is prepared in a dried out oven, which is the way that's made in Israel.
Okay.
Right? So ironically there you have no problem with your cholent.
Yeah.
You'd have a problem putting it into your soup.
Right.
So you say here is different
both. You can either have one or the other.
You just salt shakers.
What I read and what I read.
In Israel, right?
Canadian salt and Israeli salt.
So let me find out. Let me see.
Only for soup.
I want to find out.
You write only
So let me see if I can find a heter.
From the Manashah, it's either going to be one or the
They
other.
make so many little hands, so don't see the difference.
What do you mean?
You don't have to salt it anymore.
You can salt your soup or you can salt your cholent. How are you going to come up with...
No, the soup is not double gush.
Right, but I'll what? I was going on his suggestion of baking it before.
No. If you make it before, it depends. If it was cooked before, then bake. Yeah. Let's try to go without that. Let's find a heter that you can salt it without having to bake it before Shabbos. There's enough to do before Shabbos. You tell your wife you have to cook the salt before Shabbos.
I have cooked salt for you.
Let me find. I'm sure I'll find a heter for the salt. Even according to the Mashal. Not for halacha issues, for counseling. Okay, so that's the chumrah. That's the chumrah of the Mashal. That a davar gush in the klisheni is always vashal. If you look in the Be'er Halacha says also litin tavlin. Hine v'shayt devarim chutz v'mayim v'shemek var mavur le'el yesh l'zor l'chatchila ach b'klisheni. Ach l'ini di eved ein l'hachmer b'klisheni. You don't have to do machmir. Someone did it by mistake, you have to machmir klisheni. We'll see Iru in a second. Fine, so that's the chumrah of klisheni and Kale Abishal. If you look at the end of the Mishnah Berurah Sif Khan Ayin Aleph, he speaks about that the Melech she'oisim mimayim she'mizbashal oisei ein by Mishnah Bishal l'chul yam and Mishnah Bishal. Anything that's cooked, any salt that's cooked, then there's no problem with Bishal Bishal. Fine. Let's move on a little more here.
There's no problem, but it doesn't solve the problem of the cholent.
No. Let's figure out how to fix cholent. So davar gush, it's the Yatzaledis boy. We're talking about. We're talking about a davar gush and a klisheni. And you have to remember the whole davar gush.
Salt.
And cooked salt, right?
It doesn't matter if it's Yatzaledis or not.
No, it's not Yatzaledis, it's mutter. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're talking about Yatzaledis boy. The cholent is not Yatzaledis boy. Then you have no problems. We're trying to find the heter. The cholent is piping hot cholent, and you want to salt it even while it's very, very hot. So we have a chumrah of the mashal that is so called. It's not a klisheni. If you don't have the chumrah of the mashal, so we have the kula, the tavlin, and the klisheni is not a problem.
Right.
We're talking about that.
But it makes a difference if it's cooked or uncooked.
Even if it's cooked, a fiach bishul. This is called afiyah. It's not called bishul bishul.
Yeah, but it's true when you take the ladle and you put it in the kli, so that it's shlishi.
But by double gush, there's no heter of shlishi. By double gush, there's no heter of shlishi. Who says it before this?
It's got to be an opinion that would say that way.
Why doesn't the Mishnah Baruch mention that at all? By salt, it says ein bishul bishul. We just read that.
If it's cooked, right.
If it's cooked, but he doesn't make a distinction of a fear.
It's not bishul, so you're pouring it in the soup. He wasn't talking about putting it on double gush. The Shabbos is not talking about putting the salt on double gush. He's talking about adding the salt to a soup. A double lach. Okay, B'linad, I'll find the heter, okay? Before Shabbos. 100% the problem.
And you'll send out an email for that.
I'll send an email, yes. I'll send an email with that. I'll find the heter. It says in Rabbi, if someone by mistake puts salt in a kli rishon where it is mevashal, afilhu ala eish she'avad isura, he did an isur, he cooked on Shabbos, he added salt to a kli rishon even though it's ala eish, mutter ha-meichel, the meichel is mutter b'diavad. Why? The melech batal agabi ha-meichel, the salt becomes batal to the rest of the food. Right? The salt becomes bottled. So we know if the shishim connected the salt is mutter. But we have a big issue over here with this halacha because this had to be learned that something that's meant to give taste, avida l'taima, even b'shishim is not bottled. Even b'sixty is not bottled. So why over here do we say if it's salt, it's bottled? Salt is avida l'taima.
Why not even tavlin? Look at this. Why only salt?
Even tavlin. Even tavlin. Anything, yeah. Even tell if you over, you put it into kli rishon, why is the mutter? Right. So now we're going to leave for Shabbos a little bit, and we'll go into the chazar and itzav heter. So if you look at
sorry, quick question: does davar sheyesh lo matirim not come into this?
Also, we get that also. Also, yesh lo matirim, we get this also. It's yesh lo matirim also. So why is it bottle? Right. Let's see the Magen Avraham. So we'll take a little break from Hilchos Shabbos, and we'll go into itzav heter a little bit. So look at the Magen Avraham Sifkat Lamed Aleph. The melech bottle b'samach v'af agaf. The midi, the ovid the time of the bottle, something that's meant to give taste, is not bottle, even b'shishim. Shani hachat have a zev goyim. It's zev goyim, meaning the mistama nimlach gam be'erev Shabbos. Since erev Shabbos you salted it a little bit. Now what is it? It's not salted enough. So you're adding a little more salt. So zev goyim, the lacha is when two things together, Isser and Heter give taste, so then it's mutter. Because in order for it to be Asr, it has to be that the taste changed it. Here, the salt that you add on Shabbos didn't change it by itself. It needs the salt from Erev Shabbos also to make a change. So Zeb is a goyim, and therefore it's mutter. The stomach nimach kam Erev Shabbos. Fine, that's one thing. Then he goes to another issue. Second. So there's an interesting taz over here. Before we go to Yechiel, I want to see a taz here about Zev Zeh Goyim. If you look in the taz, we've cut into Vav. By me, it's like a quarter of the way into the taz. There's a dat by me. It says, "Ofiyani is dati ma'oy temua."
Yeah.
Ofiyani is dati ma'oy temua. So the taz doesn't like this het of Zev Zeh Goyim. And the Taz says, why did Zev Zeh Goyim? Zev Zeh Goyim is going to take salt, it's the salt and heter salt, and I put it into the pot at the same time. They're both giving tam now and Zev Zeh Goyim. But here, what happened? Erev Shabbos, I put salt into the pot. Right? Now, I have a tafshel in front of me. Doesn't taste so good. Now I'm adding salt. Says the Taz, the salt that I'm adding now is what's changing everything. So it's not Zev Zeh Goyim.
Especially because the assumption is that the salt that you would have added on Erev Shabbos is already dissipated. It's already in
it's already in there already. Right. So now what I'm adding now is changing everything. So Taz doesn't like this het of Zev Zeh Goyim. So look at how the feeling is not more. The Akarka claim the sin of Zev Zeh Goyim. Raksha Ba'oisa has a man shegoyim Isser Pu'ulasa at that time that the Isser is doing its effect. Od Goyim Gama Het Pu'ulasa. Kahid Sa'ar, like we had by yeast, They both make it rise at one time. You have Isser yeast, a heter yeast, and they're both making it rise at the same time. Who came? Over here, the special Tchila b'melech shel heter, ukvar asa pul asay. The melech shel heter is already finished. It's not giving enough time. Now the Isser is giving it a good taste. The Isser is giving tam toiv. Then it goes right. I'm not going to finish the rest of the Taz. If you have time, see it. But therefore, Taz argues and he says there's no heter of zev goyim here. Obviously, the Ramah says that there is a heter of zev goyim, and the Ram goes with him. They hold you can't ignore, right? You can't ignore the original salt. This salt by itself, if you put in this salt by itself, it also wouldn't give it time. So you have to have the tziruf of the old salt. You have to have them together. Even though the Rebbe did it for Ula, the Rebbe did what it had to do, still it's called Zev Zegoyim.
According to Magen Avraham, if there's a suffix whether it was salted before, could you be saying the time it was?
There's a suffix it was salted before.
Yeah. What if your wife says for sure, I know for sure I forgot to salt it?
No, that's also. That's also, yeah.
But what if she's, what if she says, I can't remember if I put salt.
So Mistama, we say it's okay.
Yeah.
Mistama, you salt.
Like the case of the woman who does a hadaf afterwards, you can always rely on the fact that it's a...
Our woman can forget. Remember after that what it said? Our woman can forget.
Can't you say today, since all food basically is processed in salt? I mean, there is a piece of basically everything has an element of salt in it anyway.
Well, so, chicken soup? You make chicken soup?
But to the chicken essence, the chicken itself, it has still a bit of salt in it anyway.
I don't know. I
so you could still send it to all the
I don't think you can say that. I don't know. I'm not sure you can say that. The salt in the chicken. I don't know. Okay, let's see what we're going to run to. Now it's one issue. But I forgot the Domish the material in the bottle. Now I have another issue. Why is the bottle, even though let's say it's Zagoyim, but Teshla Matirim, because Motzei Shabbos you can eat it, there's no problem. Kibish is bottle Mekoidim Sheneser, bottle. So here's a halacha that we'll find in I think Shimon Chaf. The Yeshla Matirim is only when something was Aser, and now you want to even bottle it. It's not bottle, it's Yeshla Matirim. But something that's already mixed together, and it becomes Aser after it's mixed together, that means the bittul happened before the Isser happened, then there's no din of Yeshla Matirim. The bittul happens. For example, here, you salt the soup, it didn't cook right away, it takes time for it to cook the salt. So the salt becomes bottled in the soup before it becomes Aser. When does the salt become Aser? When it gets cooked. It didn't become us. The case over there is it's based on Mordechai. So Mordechai says that if you have grapes, they squeeze it out on Shabbos is also a schita. That grapes, even if you don't squeeze it out, it lies by itself and the juice comes out of it. It's also also. We'll see why when we get to schita. Says the Mordechai that, but if the grapes are in grape juice and when it comes out, it's bottled right away, then it's mutter. Because if the bittul happens before the Isser happens, it's mutter. So here, when you...
The whole premise is that it's not becoming bottled because it's a dover, it has cheshivas in itself.
What, the salt?
The salt.
Avid el timer.
Yeah.
We took care of that. Zev is aver.
The second problem.
Yeah. That we took care of. Now we have another problem. Yeshla Matirim. Yeshla Matirim also is not a problem here because it's bottled before it gets cooked. Right when it gets mixed in, it becomes bottled. So once it's bottled, then we don't have a problem with Yeshla Matirim. So those who the bottle which is bottle because we should bottle the moch miyad, the any special miyad, the boy should commit the Torah. But so from the melech should also action the higher by the Lichtenstein tam. This is going back in the original problem. With the zulat and melech shall esmol. Shem higher by the Lichtenstein tam. If this salt could give tam by itself, also commercial customer day says Shiur pei zayin, because even though you have salt before Shabbos, if this salt that you're putting in now, you added so much salt that it give tam by itself, then it's awesome. Benirally says the Magen Avram, the melach she'oisim in mayim she'mis bashel oisam, melach that's cooked in water before you use it. Ein boy bishul bishul, the ein bishul acha bishul. There's no bishul acha bishul.
Salt that's cooked in water. We said that
salt that's cooked in water, and you want to cook it again on Shabbat, then bishul acha bishul. But cholent is a problem with zafir. That was our problem with the cholent.
The salt is baked salt.
The salt originally is bishul. Now you're baking it. When you add it to the davar gush, now it's called baking. That was the problem. Let's just see if you quickly. Also, Litan tavlin b'kairo for last level klivishin. You have to put tavlin spices in a kairo and pour on it from a klivishin. Because we know irui klivishin, pouring from a klivishin is mavashal kedei lipa. Says the Magen Avram. Also, litain v'im ira. If you did, let's say, now you don't have a heter. Also, a klipa asura. The klipa is asur. Why? Then it's bashla b'Shabbos. So by the time diagram and mission in the Shabbos, I am a Tosfos u'poshet. I feel madam klishenim avliya maflet. He's going back to the original thing. Even if you hold klishenim avliya maflet, hayin inyan isav heter. Avol inyan Shabbos eine asur ela bedavar shum mavashol. K'tznan avol nosel techakayra am yadei simin samacha. So the kids are Magen Avram here is chazing over said before. Even though we know Klisheni is Maflet Mavliya, but Bishul doesn't happen. Irui is Mavashal. You pull from a Klirishon onto something, even though now it's going into Klisheni, only when it's in a Klisheni already, it's not Mavashal. But the Irui of a Klirishon is Mavashal, and therefore if you pull from a Klirishon onto something, it's Aser, even with the Evet Kedei Klipa, because Irui is Mavashal Kedei Klipa.